Good morning, everybody. It is Eileen, and you are watching Jane Nicole Designs this morning. I'm going to wait for a few seconds just to get a few people on here, and we are going to do some painting today. We're going to do some decoupage and use some Mod Podge and some of my new favorite. This is a metallic luster, and we're going to have some fun today painting. I got my shirt that it's okay to get a little bit of paint on. I'm all right with that. But welcome. It's good seeing you on here. Make sure you get a cup of coffee. We'll hang out for a little bit, and let me take a sip and we'll be on our way. Oh, coffee is the best. It's the best thing in the world. My husband and I, we say it's biblical. It's Hebrews, you know? Awesome. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting this, and please forgive me, I got this at a thrift store for a few dollars. Good morning, Joy. It's awesome to see you watching. I hope you're doing all right. And I will get that link for you. I actually went back and the link disappeared and it went to a page not found. So yeah, Joy, I will get that to you. And if not, I'm going to send you the instructions. So a couple weeks ago we did a card and I put the link in there and the link is not working. So I don't know if it's, you know, maybe I don't know, to be honest. I'm not going to say if I don't know it, but anyway, it turned out really cool. So anyway, long story short, we are going to be doing this. This is, I believe, a silver plated bowl, and it doesn't have any markings on it that, you know, let's see, it is, let me get my specs on, we'll see what happens here. It's silver mints, so Sherman, something like that. I think it's just silver plated, but anyway, I just picked it up at a thrift store for I think like $3, and I just really thought it was pretty. And I know some of the stuff you can't, you know, once you paint and things like that, it's not gonna be food safe, but look at this handy dandy bowl came with it. So I am gonna clean this up, and this goes right in the middle there. So, and then today I'm going to take a screenshot of this one. Good morning, Renee. This is Mod Podge that you can put in the dishwasher. So I just want to be able to just wipe it out and things like that. I won't be putting it in the dishwasher, but here's where I'm going. And today I was thinking about it just a few seconds ago. I had all decorated for Christmas because I'm going to do Christmas in July this year. And so in the next, starting July, the first week in July to the end, I'm just going to do all Christmas and kind of getting a little bit of a jump start on my holidays. And I'm kind of just encouraging you to do the same, because a lot of times yesterday I was talking with my mom, and she was like, you know what, Eileen, that's a great idea to do, you know, July and Christmas, just to keep on, because we go through the summer and we think we have lots of time in the summer just to do, you know, other projects and things like that. And then it's like, oh, here comes school, here comes, you know, Thanksgiving, and then all those fall holidays that we do a lot of decorating for. And then we get to Christmas and we're like, oh, I didn't do this project, or I wanted to do this one. So my challenge this year to myself and to encourage you guys is start early. See how it goes. I have a couple projects that I'm going to be doing that are things I've never done before. So I encourage you, next couple weeks starting in July, I'm going to be doing Christmas related. So whether it's painting or gifts, you know, I'm not sure exactly. I have a few projects in mind, but I just wanted to let you know to tune in on Wednesday mornings at 10. And if not, go to Jane Nicole Designs, and it's on YouTube and Facebook, and you can watch what I'm going to be doing for Christmas. So just my encouragement to you to just get a little bit of a starting on Christmas. That's what's going to happen. So, okay, in my quandary, I'm going back over. I know I'm kind of squirreling this morning. I've had my second cup of coffee, and my house it's quiet. There's no one here except for the animals. And I know my youngest, she's out of the house by 9:30 this morning. I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. So, you know, motivation shopping gets teenagers out of bed. So, anyway, it's quiet here. And so I was able to get some stuff done. And then I came down here. I actually had it all decorated for Christmas, and I thought, nope, I'm not going to make it earlier than I wanted to. So, anyways, long story short, I had 2 project ideas in mind. So with this, I have 2 ideas. So I'm going to have you guys help me. This is black and white or the blue. So the black and white, I got these at Tuesday Mornings. Tuesday Mornings has great, they're $4.50 for a pack of, what is this, 40 napkins. So I was thinking this, which is this floral with butterflies and things like that. And then I have black ink, or I mean not ink, paint. Or, oh yep, see there's one. Or I thought, oh wait a minute, what about blue? And then putting a little bit of black, like check or stripes and things like that. But tell me, thumbs up, blue or black? Which one, what do you think I should do today? And I'm not gonna start it right off yet, because I do have to prep my bowl. But just put, if you have this, if this was yours, which one would you do? Would you do the blue with just the little sprigs? I know it's kind of country-ish. We can make, you know, we can do different, oh, see, Renee, okay. We'll see. We can do this, and we can put a luster on it. See, we've got both of them. Okay, so here's who's going to be the tiebreaker. What do you guys think? But let me prep it first, and then we'll start going. So how I'm going to do that is today I'm just going to use good old-fashioned baby wipes, and these do not have alcohol in them, and I like that. There will be a little bit of a luster on it, so I'm going to take and I'm going to use my paper towels as the drying agent. But I just see how it's dirty. I just want to get that dirty, it's been in the thrift store for a long time kind of stuff off of it. And it's not going to change the color on the luster and things like that on the silver, but at least I can get some of that stuff off so that the paint will stick. If you have any questions, let me know. I've been painting this kind of stuff for a little while now. I have a little bit of expertise, but not a ton. So if you have any questions, let me know. And like this here, I don't know if you can see this, but this has a dent in it. See how that's really flat? So I'm not feeling a hole too terrible that I'm going to be painting this. But I think even if I use it, I can even put it as just a display piece on I have a buffet that goes alongside my kitchen. But I just wanted, I'm not going to paint the back here, but I just wanted to clean it up a little bit. And then this here I will put in the dishwasher. But like I said, we're not going to touch this part. We're just going to be using this as the insert to, I want to just kind of look and see where where this pretty etching is. And I'll go outside a little bit of that on my napkin. So we're going to set this aside. Make sure that we have lots of room. I know, let me know if you guys can, I'm going to put it down a little bit more so you guys can see what I'm up to. But go ahead and just give it a good scrub over. And then I'm going to take just a piece of paper towel and just make sure that it's, see all that ook and gook. You really need to be able to get it to come off. So let me know where you're watching from and how your weather is. It is one of those today. It is a bluebird day over here. Beautiful day today. But in the last couple days, we've had a couple inches of rain. And I feel like living here in Idaho, it's one of those where the blue days are beautiful and then the muggy days are or rainy days, or very much like the west side. So Washington. So I felt like I was on the west side in the last couple days. To be honest, Monday I didn't even open up my front door. I stayed inside all day. It was so rainy, and it was windy and icky and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was one of those. So okay, now that I've got that done, I just kind of want to make sure I'm gonna let it dry a little bit to be able to, I want this to stick. And then if you would like to, and sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't, but let me look here. I'm looking for, there it is. Once in a while, I just sand these flat parts and just make sure, because when you put the paint on it, it's going to adhere better. And so I'm just going to do a little bit on the flat parts. I don't want to do too hard on the filigrees and things like that, but I just want it to have a little bit of a catch. And you can tell me if you've done this or not. It's one of those. Okay, so let me get another piece of paper towel here, wipe that off. Okay, so if I had a really dirty, not so great piece of silver and I think this is silver plated, but if it was really grungy, dirty, and things like that, I might just take it and put a little bit of alcohol on it. And alcohol is, oh, Renee, you've got flooding going on? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yikes. Okay, stay inside. At least you live on a hill, right? Maybe? Yeah. So anyway, I would just take the sanding block and then just wipe it off with any type of cloth that doesn't have a ton of so it does not have a ton of oil on it. So what I'm going to do today, this is from Art Minds. I got this, you can take a screenshot, and sorry it's backwards, but I got this from Michael's. This is a primer. And then this, same brand, the Art Minds, this is a chalk paint that is white. So I believe it is porcelain. Yep, it's called porcelain. And we're going to use these two products to just put a base on and make sure that, it's okay. So when I do base coats, I know this is kind of old looking, but I just use a very fine tip flat brush. I wouldn't want to use something like this where it has coarse, because I want it to not have too many streaks in it. We may use this one to finish off. This is a really good one. I got this one from I think I got most of these all from Walmart, but we're just gonna kind of see how it goes. But this primer here, if you could see, it's almost like a paste. It is very, like you can't really, I'm going to show you here. Just as I put it on my brush, it is very like, almost like gelatin. So this is just going to prime my piece. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of work it back and forth. And I don't want to put too much on here because I don't want my filigrees, all this etching and things like that, I don't want that to be all filled up with paint. So it's almost like I'm not dry brushing, but pretty close to it. And I'm just going to tap a little bit at a time and make sure that, like I said, I get in the little crevices, but then I'm going to make sure that those little indents and things like that, that they are showing up. Because by the time we're done here, we're going to have almost the equivalent of 3 coats of paint. And I don't want that to, I want the etching in it to show up. If I had something that was not as, the indents and things like that, not as much, I think for me, I would have just put just the chalk paint on it. But this here, I want to prime it because I want that chalk paint to stick. so that when I put on the Mod Podge, that it sticks well. So tell me, do you usually, when you paint, do you put a primer on it? Or is it just something where one or two coats of chalk paint does it for you? But for me today, it's one of those. I want to make sure that I have a thin coat so that, like I said, I want to make sure that it stays on. And I am going to go every which way. Sometimes projects, when I do it, I make sure that I paint all the same way. When I paint my the tin cans, the wall pockets that are super, super crazy popular right now, I usually only paint them in one direction so that it's a uniform. But because this primer is it's thin, I love it. But let me know, what primer do you guys use? Is it something, or do you use primer at all? It's one of those. I usually use primer for if I'm using metal, and if I'm going to be either wiping it down or something like that. So, like I said, it doesn't take that long. It's not too bad. Okay, so deciding what we would like to use for the inside or the color scheme, I have one vote for each of them. So I'm in a tie quandary, so let me know if you're like, what's the reason for each color? I know the blue, I don't have blue in my house, but I don't know. I'm still thinking on that. That's why I was asking you all. I was watching a gal the other day. She was doing pink, and she put pink and gray together, and I thought, oh, that's super cute, but I don't have anything that's pink and gray. So you'll see, I want to show you this. You'll see that right here, this is when I first started painting. So this paint dries super fast. And so I'm just kind of doing a hurry up to make sure that just all those pieces, and there's no silver showing. That's what I love about this paint. It dries super fast. Okay, let's look and see. I want to make sure that the rim is completely covered here, that I don't have any silver peeking out. I think that's good. There we go. So this is what it looks like, and I do, you can see the brush strokes. Good morning, Lisa. I have not heard or seen from you for a long time. That's awesome. Welcome. That is cool. It's so fun to see everybody online this morning. I know today it was one of those days where I thought, I've got a lot to do. I have my sister-in-law is coming into town tomorrow. I'm so excited to see her. And I thought, oh, should I fill up my morning with cleaning? And I thought, oh, nah, she's not coming to see my house. She comes to see us. So I will have clean sheets and things like that, and things will be picked up. But I thought, I'm going to craft this morning instead. So, all right. I'm going to take my heat gun here and let me plug it in. Didn't get time to plug it in this morning. But I'm just going to seal this with primer. I'm just going to get it warmed up here so that it dries pretty good. So this is my embossing tool. I usually use this when I want it, especially in metal too, where you want to heat it up a little bit. So it's one of those. I know, it's good to see you all this morning. One of those days where I woke up and I'm like, I am ready to craft. Okay, and I'm just making sure there's some pieces right here that are wet. So I just want to make sure that in these little crevices here that it gets dry, because you don't want to put paint on it and then have it lift because it's wet. There we go. I'm just going to tap it a little bit to see if it's got some, if it's wet or not. But I know, I just want to make sure. I'm a little leery if it goes, if it's wet and putting so many coats of things on there. I want to make sure it's dry. And I have a habit of being a McDonald's person. I want it now. And so taking that little extra time to make sure that it's dry. Yeah, it's nice and dry. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, this is, like I said, this is porcelain, and this is a, it's matte, and it's chalk paint, and it's matte, but this one here, it's a little bit of more of like an off-white, you know, Waverly, I'll show you this. This is my Waverly chalk. This is, see how it's a little bit different? It's almost got like a, not a yellow, but it's a little bit more off-white. So I'm going to do that one. And today I think I'm going to use the big brush. I want to go in and put a nice coat on it. So like I said, this is just like the other one. It's like a gel. I know it's almost gone. I've used it so much. But this here, I'll show you the difference in between. It'll almost give it like a porcelain, so that it's a little bit aged, and that it's not that bright white. So let me do a little bit of painting here and I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So give me a thumbs up. Do you like that color? I think that's the one I'd like to use. So let me see here. What I like about the big brush too is it will cover quite a bit of space here. But first I'm going to paint the inside, and then I'll go around and paint the filigree, the different etching on here. And like I said, have you ever done this project? Or does it inspire you to do one? Let's say go get one from the thrift store so that you don't feel bad that if it was a gift. That's my thing. I feel like if I can get it at a thrift store, I don't feel as bad that I've painted on a silver plated or metal type of object. Okay. So I'm just gonna go around and make sure that it's pretty flat. I don't want too many brush strokes in it. But that's what I do first. And I have a little water can here thing. I usually put my paint brushes in there. But I found that if I do that and not wrapping it in baby wipes, because that's usually what I do, I end up leaving them in there and I forget about them. And that's why they have like marks that are from rust, because I come back a day or two later and I'm like, oh. So I don't know. You let me know. What do you guys use? Okay, so I'm going to do this here. This is the little one, and I just want to be able to use it to get in those little nooks and crannies. And it's a stiffer brush. And so I'm just going to almost like pounce it in there. And make sure that it gets in all the little places. So that's my suggestion on paintbrushes. And I usually get my paintbrushes at Walmart because unfortunately, we do not have a lot of places here for crafting. We do have the typical Joann's and Michael's, but they're not as big as what I'm used to. They don't have all the products that, and sometimes, to be honest, the shelf is empty. So I kind of have to go and find different spots to be able to get my supplies. And thankfully, Walmart has a, it's pretty big. Good morning, Jan. Goodness, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 family members on here this morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And feel free if you guys want to chat and say hi to each other. I'm all right with that. It's not just me teaching. It's also a community, and you guys can hang out and chat amongst yourselves as well. It's almost like a little family reunion. That's awesome. So, talking about the Christmas thing in July, let me know in the comments, because I do go back and read all the comments. What are some of the things that you want to see happen, or projects and whatnot for the Christmas season? Do you decorate your house in florals, or is there a theme that you're going to go for this year? I think this year I'm going to be going. I'm going to be doing more of a traditional Christmas. So I want more of like the gold and red and green. Last Christmas I did more of like a farmhouse, buffalo check. And so I might be doing a little bit more of a traditional flair this year. And I think that'll be all right. Oh, good morning. This is Dusty. Hi, buddy. He's the only one that's hanging around here today. Our kitty, Oakland, I think she went to find a spot because it's so sunny. She's taken her little morning nap, it looks like. So I'm sure she went somewhere to go find the sun. Okay, almost done here. And just to make sure, when you do projects like this, just make sure that you look from every angle. And I'm actually going to put my glasses on just to make sure I have all the details covered. And like I said, I make sure that all these little pieces here, that they're not full up with paint, because I want to make sure that if I think we're going to do some waxing on it, that I want that wax to be able to catch all the little crevices. So you could spend a whole lot more time doing all the little final touches, but for time's sake, I know it's kind of boring to watch me do the details, but I do want to make sure that this project gets completely painted. And if you're watching after the live, go ahead, you can fast forward. That's kind of the fun part of that. But I don't mind. Okay, so I'm looking here. I have a few little spots that I want to make sure that I get all of the paint on. Yeah, see, I have a glob right here's a glob. I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell. All right. Okay, and now I'm going to hit it with the dryer. Hold on. Yeah. Because I want to make sure that this dries. So this is one of those projects where you kind of have a little bit of time on your hands, which is fine. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and in between each layer of paint, you can go ahead and let it sit for an hour or so. It's okay to do that. But these heat guns, I also use a hair dryer, but the hair dryer is super loud. But this heats it up quite hot. I know you can also use a regular heat tool that you can get like at Lowe's. Anything that's like that, you're welcome to use, but I kind of just between the both of them, I like the embossing tool, and this is a coat craft tool. See, it's already starting to dry. That's really fun. And what I like about this, I could do 2 coats if I wanted to and make it completely opaque, but we're going to be doing some more painting and things like that on the different layers, so it's not absolutely necessary that you have it completely opaque. So I've got some in here where it has a little bit of a silver sheen coming through, and I'm all right with that. So again, have a couple more people on here. What do you think? I'm going to either do a blue. This is like almost like a dusty blue with this kind of color, or should I just go black and white? I'm not sure. I don't have any blue in my decor, so I'm leaning towards the black and white. But what do y'all think? It's a toss-up. I'm not sure. And I could use the blue as an accent. That might work. I'm not sure yet. So, but I just think, you know, being able to have pieces like this that you can take and bring out at certain times in the holidays, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a special occasion. I like to set my table every once in a while, and my family comes in and they're like, what's the special occasion? And I just say, I just love you guys. It's fun. So the other thing too, I want to see underneath, I have a trivet. I use a trivet almost 90% of the time that I have projects. I have a couple of them actually, and it works so well. It's so nice to be able to turn things and move things around. So I got this one at, I think Big Lots for like, I think it was like $7 or something like that. But I think it works really well. Okay, here we go. It's pretty well. I'm gonna let it cool down because I don't want to put anything on it when it's super warm. So, okay, so the moment of truth. So I think for me, and where get my paint off my hands. For me, and what I want to use this this dish for, I would love to put like carrots and broccoli and all sorts of fun stuff in there. And so I think I'm going to go with the black and white theme, just because I don't know if carrots and celery would look great with the blue. So peas and carrots, probably not, but I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. So, all right, let's see here. This is what I'm going to do for the inside. So when this sits here, I want to be able to see some, you know, really fun stuff. So I'm going to take the napkin and we're going to Mod Podge this down. And I got to pick a spot that I like that would be interesting when you see it. So I could go more of like the rose down here, or I love, there's some butterflies. I could do that. What do you guys think? I'm a butterfly person, but this would go all year round because it's just kind of floral-ish. Here's just kind of, you know, that might look good because that'll go all season long. I really do like the butterfly. What do you guys think? I think the butterfly. Okay. All right. I know comments are coming in and it's like, yeah, I see floral. Yep. The comments are coming in. So I just wanted to kind of get the second opinion. I love it. So I'm going to set it down. I want it to kind of go just like right along the rim here. So, let's see here. I'm going to do this one here. I love that big, huge flower. And all I'm going to do is just take, let's see, I'm going to take a pencil. I always have pencils around. And I'm just going to kind of just do a little bit of a outline around it. Okay. There we go. So we're going to use this part right here. All right, so how these napkins work, some of them are great, some of them are not so great. These are 2-ply, so there's two layers on it. This one here, excuse me, thankfully it has a great peel away. I'm like, ooh, oh, hold on. Maybe, is it 3-ply? Hold on. Let's see. Maybe this is a 3-ply. Oh, you bet. Maybe? No. Okay, good. I was getting nervous there. I thought it was 3. Yeah. Nope. Nope. It looks like, okay, so it's a 2-ply. Sometimes there's 3. It's just kind of one sneaks up on you. But go ahead and just get rid of that. And then when I do this, you can do it any way you want. You can cut it with rickrack scissors. You could do just regular scissors. But this is how I do mine because I want it to just kind of look, I want it to melt into the, oh, Renee, you want butterflies? I know. I was like, okay, well, there's no butterflies in, you know, okay. All right. I may do that. Let's do this again. Yes, because there's that big one that will come right. Yep. It'll come right in there. All right. See, that's super cute. Okay, so we're gonna change our minds because you know what? I value your opinion there. Okay, so what I do is I just take a paintbrush, or you can do, this is a water pen, and either way you can use your finger, you can do whatever. But this here has a fine tip, and you can see it here. I filled it up with some water, and you can just literally draw. You squeeze it so it comes. There's some coming out here. There we go. And you can just draw where you want this to go. And I just do that just to keep almost that jaggedy look. And I let it sit for a second because you want it to almost like marinate for a few. And then I always store it so that the water is down. You don't want to store it this way, otherwise it runs all out. So just FYI, I've done it several times. So we don't want to do that. Okay, let me clean up my spot here. I'm a clean crafter. I want to make sure that things stay clean around here. Move things around. Okay, now I've got everything. All right, so let's start going. So when I do this, see how it's wet right there? I'm just gonna tear away, put my thumb where I want the tear to not go inside of, and I'm just gonna pull it apart like this. And it usually, it does such a great job. So when I finish up, because I did it a little bit wider than what I wanted to, then I can go back in and just decide where I exactly want the lines to go. So I'm setting it down here on the table because I just want to make sure that I put my fingers where I don't want it to go too small. I can always take off pieces, right? But if it's too small, I don't want to add. Okay, so this is kind of a little rough idea of what I want it to be. And yeah, So when I put it down here in the plate, it's just gonna be just a little conversation, kind of just a little twinkling of what is on the bottom of the plate. So let's see, I need to round it off a little bit because it's almost looks like an egg shape, so I don't want that. I don't want the top to be too thin. So, and do see this here? These are little imperfections in it, and it's totally fine. It's gonna be okay that you have all these little different edges, because it's gonna kind of like just melt into the side here. So that when I put this down, and then I put my thing in there, there you go. See, isn't that super cool? Yeah. Oh, I know. The water pen is the coolest. I've used it for rubber stamping for years and years and years. And, you know, I've used it for, you can take ink on an ink pad and you can color with it and things like that. And then, of course, this is not an original idea. I saw it on a video I was watching. I'm like, I have like 3 of them. So, now it's back in my, because I don't do a whole lot of rubber stamping anymore, but now it's back in my craft supply because I was like, that is the perfect way how to be able to do that. So it's just one of those. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I got what I'd like to put in the bowl here. I'm going to take, this is a silver tray that I got for 50 cents at a thrift store, and I have a couple of these. They're all the same, but this is what I put my paint in. This is what I put Mod Podge in. When the Mod Podge goes in here, it dries, and I can, you know, you see, I can rip it out, and it's not a big deal. I love using these. I've also now started using the tops of tin cans and things like that, that has a, you know, here we go. I've used this several times, and most of this ink, or the paint, it just dries clear, and you can just paint right over the top, put your stuff on there. So I try not to you know, throw things away, whatnot. So it's been one of those. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, I know there's a long process. So this is Mod Podge. It is dishwasher safe. Go ahead and take a screenshot of it. You can see all what the color. So here is matte finish, and that is not dishwasher safe. So do you see the different colors of the labels? This is luster. This is shiny Mod Podge. It's orange. So do get the blue if you want to make sure that you can put it in your dishwasher. I've used it on cups that I put vinyl lettering on, and I don't want it to come off, and so I put a layer of Mod Podge on there. So this one is just, it's water-based sealer, but it's tolerant to using, you know, wiping things off and getting it wet. So do read the directions. You can do this, put it on with a brush or a sponge, and it says to, you can use it on fabric. So, it says just apply a thin coat to the back and then place it on and let it dry for a couple hours before sealing. So, what I will be doing is I will be putting this on here, doing all the other painting that I want to do, and then afterwards, after it is all completely done, you can do on that, you can do a varnish, or you can put this and I'm going to water this down today. This is quite thick. I mean, you can, it doesn't go anywhere. This is a super, you know, I get it. They want to make sure that you can put stuff on, but if you're going to be using this Mod Podge and you want to use it napkins, I recommend just putting a little bit of water in it. So I'm going to actually just take a little bit out here and see how it's like, it's like goop. It's almost, yeah, it's kind of, but I'm going to put it in my tray here, and I'm going to just add a little bit of the water that has the chalk in it. It's not going to do anything too crazy, but I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it, and it's got that color from the paint in there, which is fine. I want to make sure that see how it looks kind of weird, but I'm going to just make it a little bit more pliable. And because it is, it's just going to be all on my one big brush, I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that it's a little bit easier to put on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the bowl here. Where do I want it? I want my Mod Podge to pretty much go on just where my my napkin is. But for this project, just to let you know, I am not going to be putting, oh, you know what? See? I told you. This is a 3-ply. I knew it. It was one of those. It was creeping up. This is a 3-ply napkin, and what I don't want to do is put too many layers on it. So I'm glad that I figured that out. I thought so. All right. So I'm going to take some of these fluffy ones that are going to go up the sides of it. I don't want all that. I just want it to nestle in the bottom of this dish. There we go. So just like that. And because this is napkin, because this is thick, I'm going to actually just paint it on. Just going to paint it on the dish. And what you want to do is you can't see it a ton, but it's just a light cover. Hold on, I'm going to put a different light on just a minute. There we go. I have another light. My sunshine left me, and I'm like, oh, I need a little bit more light here. There we go. There we go. So I just want it to be able to just have a thin coat. And I'm going to put it around right where my napkin is going to go. I don't want bubbles in it. I don't want big, huge clumps. I don't want anything that's going to leave bumps and lumps in it. So sometimes Mod Podge does that. There's like a little chunk every once in a while. And like I have one right here. And I just go ahead and just keep painting and get rid of it. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take, and it doesn't matter either way, right? But I am just going to set this in here. And if you want to, you can also use, and it's one and done. That's it. When you put it down, it's one and done. You can use your fingers. I've also used, just like here, I'll show you here. I have a little paper, plastic bag here, and you can just use that to push it down. I'm just gonna, there is a couple wrinkles in it. I'm okay with that. But I'm just gonna press it down so that it stays. And this paper, if the Mod Podge is coming up or sticking or things like that, this will be the forgiving piece that won't make it pull up. So I just want to make sure that I get, I'll show you here, I just want to make sure that I get it stuck down. And then if you would like to, the pieces that don't have Mod Podge on here, there's a little right here, you can use your paintbrush and go ahead and just make a little touch in there and then flip it back up. And that's how you can, what will happen is it just kind of almost like melts into the side of your dish. There we go. I have just a couple little pieces that are sticking up, so I want to make sure that those get stuck down. There we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the cool thing about this. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I would love, I mean, this would be really fun to use it, not just even as a kitchen kind of item. You could put, you know, keep this little divided tray here. You could do, you know, jewelry or earrings or something like that, hair pieces. You know, this would be really cute in a baby room that's all either, you know, light colors and pink or whatever, and it's a catch-all. I have a dish that is similar to this that I put on the side of my table in my master bedroom, because every once in a while I'll be, you know, I wear earplugs because we have a busy neighborhood kind of thing, and I'm one of those where it has to be completely silent and absolutely completely dark. So I have my little earplugs, or if I have my hair things and I'm like, oh, I don't want, you know, using it, and so I have a little catch-all there, and it's really nice to be able to do that. And it's just an old piece of you know, silver piece that I've chalked up, painted, and things like that. So I think that's fun to be able to multi-purpose different uses for things. Okay, so now we've got that. It's going to be drying. It'll take a little bit to dry. So like I said, I will seal this again with the Mod Podge and make sure that I can wipe it out with a cloth. So that is what it looks like, and I'll just set it a little bit nicely in there. So that's what it's going to look like when you see it. Okay, so now here we go. This is one of the fun new things. So we are going to be using, this is acrylic paint. And like I said, we are going to be sealing this, so we want to make sure that, you know, that if we're going to be food and things like that, that's why the Mod Podge is there. We don't want to put chemicals on our food, so that would be not good. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit of, this is the wax, and this is chrome. And so I'm going to use it. I know our stuff was all, you know, chromish when we started out, but I'm going to put this layer on here just because I think it's going to be really fun. So we're going to be using, this is the black and then the chrome. So my first thing that I'm going to do is, you can use wax in several different ways. And I have a whole, I'll show you here. I have a whole little can of, this is only the can that I use if I'm going to be using wax or any type of stenciling and things like that. These I just found these are cool. They're for my air clay molds and things like that. But I just have, these are almost like stipple brushes, and I don't clean them. This is my clear and my white. And like I said, it's got dried wax in it, and it totally is fine when I scrunch it up a little bit. I also have, these are for if you have luster and different, I'll show you this one. This is from, it's Deco art. There we go. This is black. And I have to show you this. This is super pretty. I just did a project with this. This is rose gold. And look at, it's weird. It's wax. It's almost kind of fluffy. And yeah, I'll touch it and then it's super glittery, not glitter, but metallic-y pink. So I love this. I just did a tin can with this one, and oh, it was beautiful. I put more on. I'm like, ooh, this is so cute. And so anyway, this is for my pink, but I use this one for the metallic. So this one is just gonna, it's a stipple brush. It's pretty stiff bristles and things like that. It's in a round. And so I'm just gonna tap, and then I do have, I'm gonna get, where is it? There we go. Here's a piece of our napkin that we're gonna be using, and I'm just gonna tap it off on there because I don't want it big chunks and things like that, but I do want it to look a little bit metallic-y. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start smooth things out of the way so you can see it, because I love to watch this stuff come alive. And all I'm gonna do is just rub a little bit. Take that. So there's many ways that you can do this. And this one here is more of almost like, just kind of like a stipple look. But I'll tell you, I love finger painting. So, and this here makes it a little bit more opaque. See how that goes? And I'm going to just kind of rub along the side here, and you tell me what you think. Do you like the one where it goes right in the middle here, where it's in the grooves or things like that, or do you like it where it just goes on the top? Good morning, Christine. Do you like it on the top there, where it is just a little bit of a sun-kissed of the metal, or do you like it where it goes in and amongst the crevices? So I'm going to actually we're going to go around and I'm going to kind of look and see. I think I like the one that goes in the nooks and crannies, but we'll see what happens. I may do a combination of each one of these. So just taking my finger and running it all along the top, this makes it really farmhousey. And if you wanted to, I have black, it's called Rub and Buff. I would use that. But I love this new, because it dries super quick. And I like that idea. I'm one of those where I'm pretty messy with my projects. So I want to make sure, see how when it dries, it's going to dry just a little sparkly. And the other thing too is once you do that and you go around your project, you can shine it up, and you can make this metallic luster like chrome. It can get really, really shiny if you like to buff it. So it's just up to you. It just all depends. I know, I love this part. This is where it starts to come alive. And like I said, this is, it's finger painting at its best. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to push into the project too hard. I just want to go over the top. And here's another tip and trick. If you're using wax and you decide, I don't really like that, you can actually take, this is a baby wipe. I'm going to get a clean one here. You can reverse or get rid of it by just using a baby wipe. So I'll show you that. Just let me get this. See how you can rub it off. It's not completely perfect. If I kept rubbing, then, you know, it would go back to the white. But I think what I like is this look where it's just a little bit kissed with the chrome. Okay, so let's go back and see. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to dab this on the top. And then you can go around and just see if there's different spots that you want to highlight. It just all depends on what you like to do. I'm going to go around the edge of it. I want the edge to look like, not white like that. I want the edge to look darker. So I'll just run my finger around the outside. Oh, this is looking awesome. I am super excited. I might have to find and do another one. You know how that goes. That's me. I find a project and I'm like, oh, let's see, how many different renditions can I do? Okay. So this luster I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's like $6, $7 a can. And you can use it tons of different surfaces. And the cool thing too is that it's like a paste, but if this dries out, you can put a little bit of water in it and hang out. Good morning, Tisha. It's awesome to see you guys. Boy, we have a girl party. It's so fun. I think now we have 5 family members are going on. So thanks, ladies. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If anything, I love it. Family is awesome. Well, and all my new friends too. They're family too. It's one of those. My house is one of those where it's always open and love to entertain. That's one of the things I got from my mom. Entertaining and fun and hospitality. Okay, so I'm just going around the edge here, just making sure that where I want this to go. And like I said, you can just keep going. It's one of those, you can't see it as well in the camera because it's super light here, but this is what we're going for. Just kind of a weathered look, being able to just put a little bit of a color and bring out those different filigrees, different etching and things like that. And like I said, you could go and just keep playing on it for forever. It's one of those. I would definitely take a little bit more time, and you know, it's on your own discretion of what you would like to do on that. So now I do this gray here. It does dry, so I just take my baby wipe and just wipe it off a little bit. But like I said, it's not necessarily, you know, I just have my brushes for my wax, and then I have brushes that I use for just painting and things like that. So some of them are interchangeable. Every once in a while I'll do that, but for the most part I keep my brushes pretty separate from each other. So okay, all right, now what I'm doing, I'm looking for another brush, and ooh, we're gonna do this one. This is a it's a little bit stiff, but it's fine, and we are going to do something I have not done before. So I'm super excited. I've seen it a bazillion times, and I'm one of those where I like to be daring, and I always end up doing it on my lives. So I thought, you know what, we're just going to be a little bit daring today. So you know, the MacKenzie Child has either the checks or the stripes and all that kind of stuff. I would love to do that here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little line around this, where this little indent is. And I'm not sure, I might use, this is like liquid gold, but it's liquid silver. I may do that, but because it's food, I don't think I don't want to put metal on things like that. So, but because I'm going to seal this, I'm going to use the acrylic paint here. And you know what, I might even, just for food's sake, I might even just use it as a catch-all. I don't know yet. I'm gonna, you know, once I keep putting all these different mediums on it, I want to make sure that I'm not gonna, you know, toxify myself. That might not be fun. So I'm just opening up my acrylic paint here. It looks like it's been a while since I've opened this up, so I'm just gonna make sure that I have adequate paint here. There we go. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just get a piece, or a top. This is my soup can tops, and I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on here. So this is acrylic, and I want to make sure that when I do this that I have enough. That I have adequate paint, so I've heard. And let me wipe this off because I don't want it to be too globbed with paint. So now, how I've heard about doing this is when you do stripes and things like that, I could take like a little ruler and section each of things off, and then, you know, that kind of thing. I'm like, that's great, but then kind of that craftiness gets lost in translation. But I've also heard too, but when you make a stripe, that you do it on the opposite so that it doesn't get all bunched up into one and things like that. Or I've also just seen where they're just gonna freehand, and I have really shaky hands, so it's one of those where crafting, you cannot in this regard, if you want it to look like it's production, I would not do this. But I'm gonna just take my paintbrush, and I'm gonna go into the middle here. So I just want to go on the edge, and I'm just gonna make one little stripe here, and I want it to be uniform, just like that. And then I'm gonna go back in here. There we go. So that's how it's going to start. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of room. You can also take another brush and round it about if you want to keep that same distance. But I'm gonna go for it. I'm just going to freehand, and we're going to do it this way. And so you want a brush that has that square. You don't want to do a rounded brush. But See how it goes? Okay, here we go. And then just go ahead and load up the top part of your brush, which makes the sides. Make sure that you don't have anything hanging off to the side. You don't want that. But I'm going to go in and just make sure that I get the nook and cranny first, and then I'm just going to draw it down. There we go. Okay, so we're going to keep going. And I'm just going to do about a finger width apart, and you are going to have a little bit of difference in your places, because all this little filigree and things like that, it's going to, you're going to have to be painting that. So here we go. And this one here, this is right at the corner. So I'm actually going to start at that corner there, paint that, and then go down. I am not a painter by any means, so I am more of a crafter. So if you have any tips and tricks, let me know. But I think I'm just going to do it this way. So making sure that I have round and about. There we go. I'm just going to put it right here in the corner. And then just draw it down. And that is, I'm able to be doing this with ease because of my trivet underneath me, being able to move it back and forth. I think that is an absolute must if you're going to have any of these projects like that. Okay, so round and about right there. And like I said, you can decide where you want this. You could go all the way down to the end. You could do whatever you want. But I think for the first one, I think that this is how it's going to go. There we go. And I've also seen this done with the chalk paint too, so that you could have a hiding stripe underneath your design. So it just all depends on what you want to do. But I think this is what I'm going to end up doing. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. I want to mirror it so that it doesn't look too crazy. There we go. And like I said, I'm going to do a little bit, oopsie, I got on the side, so I'm going to get my chalk paint. I might even just bring, I might just bring that down to that rim, because that would be really cool. We'll see. I haven't decided. Okay, it's right about there. And then if you want to, once you're all completely done with this, you can take a smaller brush and you can go up and around the sides if you'd like, and square off and make sure that you have the same. It just all depends on what you want to do. But I like it this way because it's all, you know, it's not, doesn't look like it's manufactured, and I like that. I'd rather not have something look completely, yeah. Good morning, Reb. So let's do a little bit more on flat side. And then, so like I said, you can go from one side to the other. I'm going to flip it around so I can see a little bit better. There we go. And like I said, the brushes is what's going to help you. A lot of these brushes are very forgiving and will be able to help you make those lines straight. So and then you can say, I have a MacKenzie Child inspired dish. That's kind of one of the latest and greatest crazes around here is the MacKenzie. Everybody's doing that right now. Okay, I think I'm around about 2 left, so let's get the inside here. Okay. All right, so let me know. Is that something that, yep, we can do that? Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit right here. And I am going to go down to that rim. I think it looks a whole lot better. Let me know. I do. I like it to go down to that rim. So I'm going to load up my brush just so that I can make that fine line on the side here. There we go. There. It does. It has a lot to do with lining up your brush and loading it up with the paint. But you don't want it too much either. So like I said, I am not the hugest painter. I don't have the steadiest of hands, but I think this is a super fun project to go and reach outside your crafting journey box. Okay. Let's get that one down there. There's a little bit of a not so straight line. There we go. There's our straight line. All right, I have a few more left. But let me know, is this something that the project that you're like, let's see how I can do this. I also, I do have YouTube and things like that where I make a little bit more videos that are a little bit more intense of instruction, and then also I do put my Facebook Live so that you can go ahead and you can just like you can have a marathon, and that's the fun part about it. It's really fun to go back and watch and see. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that project. And then what was I wearing? That's the big thing. Okay. I know, this is the tedious part. It's like, wow. Okay. And me, I'm like, oh, let's just do this really quick, right? Like I said, I know stripes and squares and things like that. It takes a little bit. Okay, now let's make sure that goes right straight. There we go. All right, last one. Thanks for hanging in there, huh? Okay. All right, so this is definitely one of those, the acrylic paint, you do need to let it dry. And with the heat gun here, it dries really quick. There we go. I want to make sure I have a couple of them that have a little bit of like a clump on here. And when the next step, I want to make sure that this is dry. Because we would not want to have weird, different layers and things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take the paint that we had at the beginning. That's the primer. Let's see, where's the other one? Let's move it over here. Actually, we could just do regular. There it is. Okay. So now I want to do a little bit different with this. I want to take well, let's just take one of these. This is just a fan brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of my paint that I used around the outside. Number one, I'm going to take my little brush because I have a couple places in here where I just want to cover up my black. And that's the cool thing about this primer stuff. You can make sure that you have, if you make a mess and things like that, this paint really does a good job of covering up. So I'm just going to go around. I want to make sure there's a couple spots in here where I kind of got crazy. And I don't want the black on there. So let's just do that. There we go. Let's see here. There's another spot. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take this here and I want kind of like a little shadow on it, and I'm just going to take the white that I just used and I'm going to mix it together. And then, so here, let me show you here. It's just two different colors there, just putting a little bit lighter in there. And that's the fun part about tips and tricks that you can find, that you can use a little bit of your paint and then, oh, I have the extra over, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. So I'm just going to load this up, then tap it off a little bit. And so on these little spots here, I'm just going to take, so if the light was shining this way, I'm just going to drag it down, just like that. And all it does is it puts like a little shadow on the side. And you don't want it to be completely solid. You just kind of want to brush it down so that you have a little bit of a shadow. And I'll do it on the same side. Same side of each of the stripes. And do you see how that makes a little bit of almost like a shadow, second color, and it matches in with the chrome. But it just gives it a little bit of a definition so that it doesn't look like you have giant black marks on your, and that's it. You can also bleed it into the white a little bit so that it looks like, it's peeking through on the white. So it's up to you what you want to do. These are kind of just things I've seen. It's like, oh yeah, perfect. Oh, let's make sure that I'm all in gray. And that's the cool part about these projects. You can make them look handmade and not like you got them at the, at the grocery store kind of thing, or the Michael's or something like that. That's the cool part. Okay, so I do have a little spot right here. I want to make sure that that line is straight. And you can keep monkeying around and making each one of these, you know, super straight, that kind of thing. Okay, so there we go. How you liking it? Good morning, Amy. So this is, here we go. It's just like that. Now, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just seal this just the way it is. And like I said, I'm actually going to water down Mod Podge on here and be able to, you know, be able to wipe it off. You can use this for, you know, now that I put the acrylic on it, I'm not sure how much I would use it with the food, but you could also do this. And this is something that I have not opened yet, but I'm going to try. This is epoxy. So you could actually seal the bottom. You could seal this with epoxy on it. And then this would, it actually, it does. It makes it food safe. So just read the back of the directions and go ahead and try that. But this is kind of the idea what I was thinking of when I just had ideas for this project here. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to seal it. And then this little bowl goes in the inside, so I can use it either as a divided plate. I could not even put this in here, and I could use it as either like a you know, something that you catch your hairbrush stuff, any type of thing like that. But excuse me, let me know how you guys, you know, if you guys want to do this, what you would use. Would you do it on a plate? So like I said, chalk paint it, do the luster on it. And then the other thing too that would be really pretty, and if I didn't want to use it as a food item, is to put wax over the whole thing. And I could either do it, make it rusticy, that kind of thing, or I have white wax that it would go on there, that it would make it a little bit more opaque kind of thing. So let me know how you guys would end up finishing this off. The other thing too I thought would be really fun is, but you couldn't use it for food, is putting glue dots around it and making some type of a luster and color in that way. So, but anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you how I do this. And if you have any questions, go ahead, make sure, J. Nicole Designs, I have an Etsy store. I do have Facebook, and I just got on TikTok. We'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure how that works. I have more, you know, a younger daughter. She's like, oh, Mom, you got to be on TikTok. I'm like, well, okay, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. If you have a project or a piece like this that you go ahead and chalk paint and do the decoupage, I would love to see it. Go ahead and put it in this feed, either a picture or a comment, things like that. I would love to see what you guys are up to. So thank you so much for watching today. You blessed my day with some fun and exciting. I love all the comments and things like that. Feel free to share this video. It kind of just helps me get the word out. And if you don't see the little live up there and it's not illuminated red, you are watching the replay. So go ahead and put #replay. So let me know. Also, one more thing, I'm going to be doing Christmas in July. If you have any ideas of what you would like to do for Christmas in July, let me know. All right, everybody, have a blessed and great day, and we will see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Take care.